Today, I'm so excited because we are going to be reflecting and realigning together as a part of this 6-part series for the 2025 Reset Routine. So if you've missed any of the other videos, it is okay. You can go ahead and check that out at the end of this one because we are reviewing our 2024 so that when we start to actually strategically plan our 2025 redemption, we know the things we did wrong, we know the things we did right, we know how our habits were this year, or just any of the things that we actually accomplished and that God had done in our life. It's just great to reflect about the year and just to see, how far you've come. If I think about my life at the beginning of 2024, I was nowhere near where I am now. So I'm really excited to go through this template together. I just finished my workout and I just want to tell you how difficult it was for me to actually go get it done. And I say this because it was something that I truly didn't feel like doing. My head was kind of hurting, but I knew that the habits that I want to implement next year, I'm trying to start some of them now so that I'm planting those seeds now. And working out consistently is one of them. So I told myself, you don't have to finish the whole workout. You just need to go and follow through. I think people call this the 5-minute rule, which is basically you do the thing for 5 minutes. And then if you want to stop, you can stop. But normally when you do the 5 minutes, you end up wanting to finish the whole thing. So that's basically what happened. I followed through the routine that I have when it comes to working out. So I read my Bible, wrote in my Best Believe journal. I put on a cute workout outfit. I made my drink. And then I went ahead and just walked downstairs, didn't think too hard about it. And then I just started to work out. And once I started flowing, I was like, okay, I can do this. And then I just started declaring God's word over my life. I put a sermon on in my ear. So it just had the juices flowing and ready to go. But I am so hungry. So before we get started, I'm gonna go ahead and cook me something to eat. And if you haven't eaten, make sure to press pause and go grab a snack. I just finished eating. It was so good. If you've never had sun-dried tomatoes in your eggs, then I challenge you to try it out because it is so fire. I have not stopped eating it since I tried it the first time. But we are about to reflect and realign. I'm going to pull out my template. I'm going to fill out all the questions, and then I'm going to hop back on and we are going to go over what I wrote down just in case you need some inspiration. And I really wanted to feel like we are doing this together. And so I really just want you to know that I am here doing this with you and to not feel overwhelmed about some of the journal prompts because some of them are really deep and they're going to challenge you to be honest with yourself. And so that's what I'm about to do. And of course, if you haven't done this already, I want you to go ahead and pray. Pray over what you are about to write, pray over your answers, and just have him guide you on what to say and maybe even remind you of some memories that you may have forgotten. I have my Bible next to me. I have my journal next to me just in case the Lord leads me to look something up that I wrote down or look something up in the Bible just to help me answer any of the questions. So I'm excited to go through this. And if you feel comfortable, I would absolutely love if you could comment any of the questions that you feel comfortable answering in the comments, just so that we can support each other, love on each other. And I would just love to see what you have to say. Let's get started. I think it's important to note that a lot of us do not do a lot of reflection throughout the year or just in our day-to-day out of the pain you might feel or the disappointment you might feel, or you just don't want to relive something that gave you so much pain. But the beautiful thing about reflection is allowing us to see just how present God was in our circumstance. And it's beautiful because we can see just how much we've grown, just how much we have been given the strength to overcome. And I get it. I went through a really tough time and I just allowed my tears to flow. I allowed myself to cry. I allowed myself to give it to the Lord, because true freedom comes when we lay it down at His feet, when we lay the pain down and don't carry it any longer. So I really pray that my vulnerability and what I'm showing you gives you the inspiration to go for it, to let your guard down, to allow yourself to feel, so that you can truly have progress, so that you can experience the fulfillment that I live in. Despite the tough circumstances happening around me, I'm still able to live in peace. And that is because the Lord gives me that peace. He lives in my heart, and that is where true freedom comes from. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. And I just want to tell you how proud of you I am. I am proud of you because you showed up and clicked on this video. I am proud of you because you're taking initiative by watching this video. And I'm proud of you because you are going to reflect and realign your life so that you can actually move forward. We are not suppressing pain and hurt any longer, so that as we move forward in 2025 or at any year that you're listening, it's going to allow us to receive breakthrough, and it's going to allow progress, growth, transformation to happen, and allow us to truly walk in that purpose, because sister, there is purpose in your pain. I just finished answering all of the journal prompts, and I'm going to go over some of the most impactful ones that I feel like, based off my answer, it would really help you on your journey in whatever you're going through. There's so many different questions that I'm going to actually walk through. But I know that you saw me crying, and honestly, it was supposed to be a happy question, which said, what are my top 3 favorite memories of this year? But one of my favorite memories actually ended very badly, and so it made me tear up, and I don't want to cry right now. But one of that was, this guy asked me to be his girlfriend, and we actually ended it later on, and it ended based off of a lot of selfishness on my end and being led on my emotions. And so we just decided that, okay, let's take a hold on this. We're still in each other's lives, so that's not the problem, but it's just, that was such an impactful memory in my life this year. And so I teared up because I was like, wait, this didn't end how I thought it was gonna end. Like, I thought we would still be together, etc., etc. Another memory that was a favorite of mine was seeing the Best Believe journal in person for the first time. So this cream one is the actual journal that I got, the first one, and this one was messed up and it wasn't created correctly. But I was still just so happy to have this in my hands, because when I launched this for the first time in 2023, I launched these journals on Amazon and I started where I could, but I always knew that I wanted this to be a high quality product. But at the time I didn't have the funds, and I knew that God just wanted me to start. So that's what I did. I started on Amazon. And so this year, to really be able to produce something so amazing that came from pain is just my favorite memory. Like, seeing how God worked in my life and being able to share that with everyone is why this is definitely a favorite memory of mine, because I proved myself wrong. I did things that I was nervous and scared to do. I was obedient, and I didn't allow the fact that I didn't have money stop me. And through that process of posting it on Amazon, I was able to learn so many different things and get feedback, which allowed me to create this product, which is just like an even better version of the first one. And I literally put every single tool that has helped me on my journey in here, to go from being dreadful in life, overcoming domestic violence, to living in fulfillment and joy. So despite the circumstances that happened in my life, I'm still at peace in my mind. That probably wasn't the right hand gesture, but I'm still at peace in my mind no matter what is going on. If you would like to grab one, I'll put a link in the description below. My third favorite memory is waking up one day and realizing that God shifted everything in my life. I believe that was when I moved into this new apartment, because where I once lived, that was a place that God brought me to when I was living in Seattle, and He was like, daughter, move to Dallas. I ended up packing up all my stuff, moving, and I lived there for about a year and some change. And then I moved into this apartment that I'm in now, which is something that took a lot of sacrifice and hard work and obedience to get to. So being able to wake up and just be like, wow, everything has shifted. Like, absolutely everything. And it's just amazing to see how much God shifts things when we just trust in Him and we just give Him our faith. What was my focus in 2024? My focus this year was to get my life together. When I first started this year, I didn't have a job. My cleaning habits were absolutely terrible. I didn't really have a plan when I started my day. I just kind of knew what I was doing and I would show up and then I would do it. I also really wasn't consistent with my workouts. Still not very much, but I'm trying. As you can see, I was just living life and going with the flow and really fighting God at this point because He wanted me to go to work and I was fighting against it and I didn't want to. So at that time of my life, at the beginning of the year, my focus was to get my life together, and I felt like my way was the best way, which was to not work, but that it just didn't work out that way. I was just doing everything I could to not have to listen to that, and that did not work out to my benefit, obviously. So a lot of the habits that I struggled with at the beginning of the year, I do not struggle with anymore. I say this because now my home is clean a lot of the time. Like, if it's messy, it's more so just cluttered. Like, I didn't pick up after myself for a few days, but it's still clean. It's just the dishes may be piled, my laundry may be piled. So it's just small things. But my old apartment, it was so bad that one of my friends had came over and he took pictures of my entire apartment and was like, you have to get it together. You have to get it together. Like, you cannot live like this. And it was honestly so embarrassing that I was like, okay, I'm going to change this. I'm going to fix this. And in that moment, I just realized that I wasn't taking care of myself the best way I could. And if I'm not taking care of myself, how am I supposed to help and take care of God's people? Which is probably why I slacked on publishing podcast episodes this year, because I was really just in my head. But you know, sometimes God will let us go through things and allow us to learn things about ourselves in the process, which in return helps us along the journey as we're working towards those dreams. So there was a point when I finally said, okay, if you want me to work this job, like, I will work a job. But I was bawling, crying about it. I didn't want to do it because I just felt like, God, I know this is not what you've called me to do. But what I had to realize was that this is my assignment in this season. And that doesn't mean that this season is going to be forever. It's not going to be forever. So if this is something that I need to do and what He is telling me to do, I just need to do it. And thankfully, when I listened, I got a job educating. And this education job helped me learn how to talk in front of people and teach, which in return has helped me talk on YouTube, has helped me on my podcast, and so many different things. And through that job, it's helped me create stability in my life. And so I say this to say that when we're obedient, so many different things can shift in your life just from that one yes, because you don't know what that one yes will lead to or what the domino effect will have. So I'm just grateful that when it came to my focus, I would say that it was a job well done. How did I prioritize my faith and walk with God this year? So my answer was that I started to pray out loud. I joined a community group. I actually joined the serving team and I started teaching online. I started leading prayer calls. So I really felt like when it came to my faith and walk with God, I was allowing Him to use me in ways that I never did before. And my faith truly strengthened, and that my relationship with Him truly strengthened, and I really started to walk in the giftings that He has given me. So by prioritizing my faith, that looked like praying out loud. I wasn't praying out loud before. I prayed in my head because I felt like the enemy could hear me. At the end of the day, he could hear you, and we just have to stand in our authority and know that. Once I learned that, a lot of things shifted in my life. Second was that I made sure that I read my Bible almost every morning. I wasn't consistent every single day, but I still made sure, like, if I didn't read it in the morning, I would read it in the afternoon. And then I started implementing habits to help me remember to read. And if you're struggling with turning reading your Bible into a habit, I'm gonna pop up this video, my 5 a.m. morning routine, and I talk about how to turn reading your Bible into a habit as a beginner. What was I doing when I felt like the favorite version of myself? When I think back to the favorite version of myself, I would say that I was working out consistently. I was eating nutritious meals, like I was meal prepping, I was reading my Bible, I was on top of building this business made by the word that he called me to. I was on top of filming my content and having it pushed out on time. I was on top of it when it came to working out, keeping my home clean, keeping my car clean, and having a good strengthened relationship. And so when I think about that, that was when I was my favorite self. And it starts to make my head turn like, okay, so if that was when I felt like my favorite self, how can I use those things that I was doing and implement that in 2025? And I feel like that's why I believe this question is so powerful, because it really makes you think back to a time when you were doing the things that you know make you feel good and you know help you perform well. What surprised me the most about myself this year? What surprised me the most is that I learned that I can be very selfish sometimes. Like, I feel like I am a giving person, but I think it's situational giving, if that makes sense. Like, I'm okay with giving as long as I want to give. But when I say selfish, I just mean like selfish in my way of thinking. So, for example, if someone always helps me with something, if they want me to help them, but it's late at night and I'm about to go to sleep, I tend to struggle with saying yes, because I'm like, well, I have to wake up early and I need to do this. And it's a lot of I, and not really thinking about the fact that they've helped me with certain things. It's because my mind goes to like, well, why aren't you being considerate? You know that I'm about to go to sleep. Is this not something that we can do at a later time and I would be okay? That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if it not benefits me, but if it's like convenient for me, then I'll be like, yes, let's go. Like, I'm down to help you and help you do whatever. But when it comes to inconveniencing me, I feel like that's where I can become selfish. And that's what I learned about myself this year. So that's something I have to actively and be intentional about and really like lay at the Lord's feet and allow God to just shift my heart. And I've done and I've been doing such a much better job at that. What drained my energy this year? Worry. Worry drained my energy this year, and there's something that I learned that really helped shift my mindset pertaining to worry. Well, for one, when we worry, we're not abiding in the Lord, and abide means to remain. And so I learned that when I worry, I am not like being in the nature of the Lord, because we are made in his image. And so if I'm made in his image, worry is not supposed to be what I'm doing, which is why Matthew 6 goes so ham about why do you worry? Worrying does not add any more days to your life. Why do you worry about what you will eat or what you will drink? I could keep going, because I've studied that verse and read that chapter so many times. Something else that really impacted my mind when it came to worry is thinking about the situation. I heard this somewhere, and they were talking about the fact that every situation has a positive side and a negative side. So when we worry, we're just focusing on the possible negative outcome versus having faith in the possible positive outcome. So I just try to make the decision to choose which side am I going to focus on. Am I going to focus on what could go wrong, which leads to worry and anxiety? Or am I going to focus on what could go right, which leads to faith and just continuing to show up in joy, knowing that it could possibly work out. And then also having the understanding that even if it doesn't work out, I will be okay because God's got my back. I am just telling on myself with these journal prompts, I'm telling you. What part of my character did I work on this year? I would say extending love even when I don't agree with what the person is doing. I know that it can be hard to be nice to someone that you really love when they're doing something you don't like. Like, let's say someone's dealing with an addiction and you're frustrated at them because they keep doing the same thing over and over again. So instead of drilling them, which is just pushing this person away, how can you extend love despite not agreeing with what they're doing or the outcome that they're doing? And it's like you can care so much about someone, but you can't want it more than them. And so what I had to work on this year when it came to my character was that, okay, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Me nagging them, me getting on to them, or whatever I'm doing isn't gonna change the situation. I should just extend love just as God extends his love to me when I'm being stubborn, when I'm not listening, when I feel like, it should be one way and I know the answer should be another. I hope I said that right. Anyway, that is what I feel like. I worked so hard when it came to my character this year, and I'm really grateful because now instead of just reacting and being led off of my emotions, I intentionally think about the fact like, hey, are you okay? Is something going on that is making you do this? Like, or I don't say anything at all and I'm just like, hey, I love you despite the mistakes that you make. Sometimes you don't even have to address what someone is doing wrong because they already know that they're not supposed to be doing it. And so it's in those moments when you could just extend love to that person despite not agreeing with it. So yeah, I feel like that's what I worked on a lot this year in my character is just extending love even if I don't feel like it, even if I don't agree with what they're doing. And I just know that that's what God does for me. Sometimes you don't even have to address what someone is doing wrong because they already know that they're not supposed to be doing it. And so it's in those moments when you could just extend love to that person despite not agreeing with it. So yeah, I feel like that's what I worked on a lot this year in my character is just extending love even if I don't feel like it, even if I don't agree with what they're doing. And I just know that that's what God does for me. Okay, last journal prompt question that we're gonna go over. What commitment have I made that I no longer believe in? The commitment that I made, making content consistently. I do not believe anymore that I need to be filming all the time, recording vlogs all the time. Like, I believe there's a smarter way to go about it. And I've, learned this through trial and error, but I felt like I wasn't burning myself out because I truly enjoy making content, but I was just recording. And then when it came time to edit that and post that, I really didn't have like a vision and it kind of just felt pointless, if that makes sense. Like, it was still valuable, but I felt like it could have a better storyline or just something in general that could really help someone even more versus just taking all these videos every single day just to have the content, and in return, I wouldn't say burning myself out, but just tiring myself out and not working efficiently. I was working harder, not smarter. So what I would say works for me now is having a content plan, knowing what I'm going to post, and then making sure that I film that specific content versus just overloading myself with filming. And because I'm managing a bunch of different things like YouTube, podcasts on YouTube, Instagram, a business page that's on Instagram, that's on all these different platforms, I have to be more strategic about how I go about things. So what we're about to do now is I'm about to hop on my desktop and then we're gonna fill out the rest of the 2024 replay together. Ugh. Let's go into the 2024 replay. I already went through my journaling prompts with you. I have them filled out, so just make sure you fill those out before you get into the next section. And now we're gonna talk about the 3 lessons we learned this year. I would say there is power in rest. When I rested, I had more energy to pour into everything else. So resting physically and resting spiritually in God's presence. I found that when I didn't rest, it was because I was trying to either A, do things in my own strength, or B, I was trying to rush and produce an outcome ahead of God's timing. Number 2, I would say unlearning is a part of the becoming. So the person that God has always destined me to be, I am right now in the becoming. So I'm in the transition period. So I'm not where I once was, but I'm not where I'm always destined to be. So I'm just in this area of transition. And so in this area of transition, I've been learning that in order to become, there are things that I have to unlearn, like old habits, old mindsets, previous actions, and just things about myself that I need to shed off of me, because I can't bring my past or the hurt or the pain that I'm carrying into the next season, because it's just not destined for me to have that in this place. So sometimes God will keep us in the transition, in the becoming period longer, when we haven't taken the time to let go and shed those things off of us that we really need to let go of and lay at the feet of Jesus. Another hard but important lesson is that God will limit my reach and capability to. The reason why I say this was a tough lesson to learn is because at one point there were things that I was able to do without being as intimate with the Lord. But the second that He called me higher, He demanded more out of me, and He limited my reach to be able to do things by myself or to do it in my own strength. And it caused me to have to rely on Him in order to get it done, which God will allow certain things in certain seasons. And so for me, I just had to realize that in the season that I was in, I had to rely on God like I had never done before. 3 habits I've committed to: drinking my purple tea and greens. If you've watched my vlogs, you see me drink that absolutely all the time, every day. It's my favorite drink. It truly helps with my digestion, my energy, the inflammation in my body, all that good stuff. Another habit I've committed to is praying out loud. I know we already talked about this, but at the beginning of the year, I did not pray out loud. So I committed to doing it, and now I just haven't stopped. And I'm not going to stop, because it's so important, because the atmosphere and your mood just shifts when you pray out loud instead of in your head. Like, if I go into prayer and I still feel the same, then I'm either not moving in my power and my authority, or I'm just half A-ing it, you know what I mean? This last habit is more so something that I committed to towards the end of the year, and that's making to-do lists / keeping my schedule organized. This helps me so much, especially as a business owner, a content creator, a person who works a job as a nurse. It's a lot to handle, but the thing is, God wouldn't give me more than what I can manage, so it's doable. He just showed me that it's going to require more attention and more productivity and organization from me on my part. 3 things I'm thankful for. There's so many things that I'm thankful for that I'm trying to think about the top things that I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for the impact the best believed journals have made. I say that I'm thankful for this because I know that this has really helped people grow a deeper relationship with Christ and truly help live a life that is in alignment with His Word. I'm thankful for my willingness to change. I want to change more than I want to stay the same. And although it takes a lot of sacrifice and it can be tough, I'm very thankful that I am willing to do the work. And even if I don't do it well or I fail, I still am learning something about myself along the way. And so I'm very thankful that I'm not sulking and sitting in sadness or sitting in a situation that can be changed based off of the actions that I'm willing to take. I'm also thankful for my family. Me and my family got closer this year, and I'm really grateful for that. Becoming closer with my family. A huge milestone for me was starting a YouTube channel. Another huge achievement was launching Made by the Word. A huge milestone for me was really understanding who I am in Christ, knowing that I'm a daughter. When I truly realized that I am a daughter, it allowed me to approach things differently, and it allowed me to go to Him in ways that I might not have before. And it honestly allowed me to approach prayer differently, my life differently. And it really showed me that no matter what, my Father is going to show up for me. And the thing is, as a daughter, we walk in dependency, which means that I don't make decisions by myself. When an answer is given, I don't question it, I just accept it. But a lot of the things about being a daughter, I didn't really know how to be, because I wouldn't say that I had a father figure there throughout my life, living in my home, that allowed me to act as the daughter. So when I first started my relationship with the Lord, it kind of was a lot of rebellion, a lot of back and forth, but that is because I didn't know what being a daughter truly was. And if you struggle with this, I'm going to pop up a video on the screen where I talked about this in depth, about being a Christian, struggling with daddy issues, and really how to overcome that. What I'm doing now is going to my 2024 vision board, and I only made one for my business. I'm just going to screenshot it and bring it over like that. So here's my screenshot. I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna press delete, snag this, enter it in there. And here is my 2024 vision board for my business. And so something I'll say that is interesting is the fact that because I only made a vision board for my business, the business was able, because I only made a vision board for my business, you can see that that's where my focus went. I didn't have one for my personal life. So my health suffered, and so many other things went on the back burner because this is where my mind was. My mind was on growing this business, doing the thing that God called me to do. But the thing is, in reality, God will call us to something, but that doesn't mean He told you to stop doing this other thing, which He's corrected me on multiple times. So pertaining to this vision board, I do not have a Made by the Word headquarters. I would still love to have one. This is for sure the vibe of it, very modern, neutral stuff. I would say my headquarters is my home. We were able to have some product shoots. We did not achieve 1 million in revenue. We did launch a website. I would say that I am a radical CEO. And radical just means that I bring change that is not the norm. We did not have merch. We started thinking about it, but we just haven't had merch. I did launch an affiliate program, but it's more so an ambassador program. And we started working on hosting an event, but realized that, hey, it's not the right time for this, so put that on hold. And of course, this business 100% was led by God. And did we hire a team? No, but we were able to basically have interns or people that helped along the way. So while they weren't paid, I still learned, how it is managing someone, and that's definitely something that I'm excited to do for this year. We finished the 2024 replay, but I really want to talk about the goals that I set this year and what I accomplished, what I didn't accomplish, and something that I learned. So what I did last year was I just made a list of 100 goals, thinking that I was going to be able to make it happen. The thing is, I didn't track it. I didn't have any systems in place. I kind of just wrote down the goals, and the whole purpose of writing 100 was that I'll have the main goals that I think about all the time. And then as you go down the list, you have to think more in depth and you have to dig deeper into yourself. And so I did this based off of someone instructing, like that's what they did and it helped them. And I tried it out, and I will tell you that it did not work. One, because I didn't track it. Two, because 100 goals is a lot, and that's just kind of like grandiose thinking. And so it's more efficient to have some goals, set systems in place, and then go about it that way. And that's what we will be talking about in the next episode in this series, where we're working out our 2025 game plan, aka our growth plan. So I'm gonna pull up my list. It is in my notes app. 2024 goals dash 100. I have not even looked through to see what I've accomplished and what I haven't. So I just want to walk through this with you. Number one, connect with people who support the vision God gave me. Check. Be able to sell 2025 at the end of 2024 New Year service. Nope, not able to do that. Pray before every decision, big or small. I attempted that. I wouldn't say that I did the whole year, so we're gonna leave it not crossed. Post minimum 2 podcast episodes per month and get on a strict schedule. Now, did we just talk about this? I did not stay up to date with my podcast, but that is changing this year. Because the Lord literally told me, Michaela, just because I told you to do YouTube doesn't mean that I told you to stop doing the first thing I called you to do. Buy one property, did not happen. Hire 5 to 6 team members for expansion, did not happen. Have headquarters for Made by the Word and start our day as a business with prayer and a verse breakdown. Nope. Relaunch Mentorship 101, I did that. 1 million in revenue, nope. Selfishness removed from a character, we still working on that, but that's so funny that I wrote this down and we just talked about that in my 2024 journal prompts because I didn't even realize that I wrote this down. So that is so interesting. I'm going to mark that off because I'm not going to say it's 100% removed. Be sponsored by a workout company with free packs of clothes and payment sent to me, though. What's interesting is that my niche actually changed. At the beginning of the year, I was posting workout content and I honestly forgot about that until I just read this. Have products in major stores like Target, Barnes and Nobles, etc. No, that did not happen. Would love that to happen this year. Be featured in Forbes. Nope. Build media company. Nope. Create a new course. Did I create a new course? I didn't create the course yet, but it will be done before the end of the year, so I'm leaving that open. It's all about content creation, planning, filming, editing, all that good stuff. So make sure you are on the lookout for that. Host an event. That did not happen. Walk in alignment with God's will for my life. Yep. Start writing a book. No, I didn't do that. 1 million podcast downloads. Nope. Podcast featured in 100. Nope. 100K IG followers. Nope. 50K a month income. Nope. Live in home/apartment with floor to ceiling windows. Nope. We were close, but nope. Start TikTok accounts in different language to reach international audience. Nope. Trip to Bali. Nope. Be a part of a DV foundation. Okay, so the thing is, I'm supposed to set up my volunteer. When I had the meeting to actually do it, I had a concussion, so I didn't actually go. But I have my appointment, basically I say appointment, but it's pretty much just a like introduction to what I'm going to be doing as a volunteer. which means that I'll be a part of it, but that meeting isn't until January 8th, so I have to mark that off, even though I really want to. And then this is signifying made by the word on a billboard. Nope. Red carpet. Nope. Nope. Dope. Not yet. Not yet. Pay off credit cards. Dope. I will say, be invited to an interview on TV. TV counts as being a guest on a popular podcast that's streamed on YouTube. That's still on TV, so I'm counting that. Look, feel, be a CEO, boss babe. Yup. Grow more intimate in the Lord. Yup. Lead people to Christ. Read 12 books, one every month. See, no, that didn't happen. But that's something that I would really like to do. But if you could see, like, I'm on step 39. There's so many that I didn't accomplish, but the thing was, a lot of these goals were so unrealistic, not timely, and a lot of these could be placed on like a master list of things that I would like to accomplish, but not so much like in the next year. Be paid and invited to speak at an event. No. I skipped one. Show more personality online in my talking videos. Did that. Win the moment. Travel and stay in the peaceful scenery. Place for 1 week. No. No. I did post modest fly outfits. Get comfortable in front of the camera. Learn how to break down scriptures and talk about them. I would say I did. Learn how to do makeup. No. Host a retreat. No. Learn how to start a production company. No. Start made by the word clothing line. No, we didn't start. Attend a concert. No. Consistent email marketing. No. Invest in properties. No. I probably bought like a handful of new clothes, so I believe it. New place fully decorated. It's not fully decorated, but it has some type of decoration, if you know what I mean. Be a Proverbs 31 woman, lose 60 pounds, no. Treat my body like a temple, kinda, not really. Have 5 income sources. I have my business, digital products, affiliate marketing, brand sponsorships, a regular job. So I have 5. Release a new course about the journey to our dreams. Nope. Nope. Ah, that did happen. Sold out first launch. We didn't sell out yet, but we will, so I'm actually gonna leave that. Nope. Read 1 chapter of the Bible 6 times a week. I did do that. Look, grow by a... That's hilarious, bruh. That's where my mind was. Pay my mom back $8K. No. No. Okay. I have consistently cleaned and picked up after myself. Get my car deep clean. Absolutely not. I know y'all saw me cleaning out my car. Romanticize my life. No. Make enough money from my sources of income to be a full-time entrepreneur. No. Buy myself diamond. No. No. I followed a night routine at the end of the year. Do something new once a month. I'll say I did that. I did Tide 10%. Get out of pre-diabetic. Did that. We got out of the pre-diabetic range. Have healthy blood work levels. Yep. Clean out my closet 1 time a month. Did not. I did have consistent meetings. Launch a collab journal. Coming soon. Trip with my family. Sober? I was sober. Oh my gosh. Just such an accomplishment. I'm sorry. Wear my hair in different styles. Yes. Get chin lipo. That's kind of crazy. No. Start a retirement fund. No. Get an all expense paid trip to people who sell over 200,000 in the first 3 months. Didn't happen. Have a staycation in Dallas. Didn't happen. I'd say for the most part, I was a great steward of the blessings God provided me. Grow my engagement, that happened. Do it God's way. Do it God's way for the most part. Push to start key for my car so I can turn my car on without me inside. Did happen. Take pictures of my outfits and purposely get dressed and ready. Kinda. So if I scroll through this list, there are so many things crossed out. While there are a lot that were not, majority of this is crossed out. And a reason it did not happen is because I was not on top of it. I did not do monthly reviews. Like, I didn't reassess these goals. I didn't even see and make sure, like, is this still in alignment with what I want? Like, you know, we already went through the whole thing, but I'm so grateful that we got to go through this together. I just wanted to make sure that you knew that you had someone to walk through this with, that you weren't in this by yourself. And I really hope that my answers either A, inspired you, B, helped you when it came to answering your own questions, or C, just really helped you think about something you can work towards, or help you just be honest with yourself. Like me crying and understanding, like, while one of my favorite memories was amazing, that favorite memory actually didn't end the best. And so I just hope that my vulnerability with you can help you be vulnerable with yourself and with other people, knowing that what God does in your life, it's going to help transform someone else's life and bring them closer to Him. And so that is my hope, that I was able to use my life as a testimony and an example for you to draw closer and lean into the relationship you have with the Lord, because again, He's the one who brings true fulfillment and change into our lives. So thank you so much. If you haven't already seen our physical and digital reset, I'm gonna go ahead and link it at the end of this video. Make sure you watch it, because it's important for this 2025 reset routine series to clean out our place, declutter, refresh, remove, and make sure we're not taking things that are meant to stay in 2024 and bring it in 2025. We want to leave it where it's supposed to be. So thank you again. I'm grateful we got to do this together. Love you. Bye.